I was already old. Who was born in 96? Oh, Benjamin was born in 96, so 25?
Yeah, well, I'm 26.
Going on 26. Yeah.
Going on 27, actually.
Going on 27.
Yeah.
Oh, we're live. So,
We're live.
here we are, man. Day 3 at Maryland Poppin' HorrorCon in Pikesville?
Pikesville.
Is it Pikesville or Peaksville?
No, it's
'Cause
Pikes.
it's two different places.
Pikes.
I looked it up on the map, and I was
I've
like,
been saying
oh, shit, I've been
Pikes.
saying the wrong place.
No, Pikes.
All these people are going to the hotel in
Pike, like the
Peaksville
fish.
going, where is this convention?
So yeah, welcome to the Sunday show.
The Sunday show. Oh, so does that mean we have to keep it really, really clean?
Well, it's out to the public.
Okay.
Like
We
breakfast TV.
we got this little kid with us sitting here.
Right. No, actually, we have an amazing up and comer in the industry sitting with us, and come to find out, we got to pop his cherry of interviews.
Yes, this is your first interview,
It's my
isn't it?
first interview. It's my first
I'm
con.
sorry.
It's my first everything.
Yeah,
it's a
they-
lot of cherries being popped.
Yeah, they actually threw you right to the wolves. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm terrified.
You should be.
Yeah,
So we have Olivier
you killed it.
Ross, thinks he's from Friends. Parents over here. So welcome. What do you?
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thanks for
Pleasure.
coming out. And so my first question is going to be, what do you think of your first ever convention?
I really didn't know what to expect. I thought I was going to sit at a table and just be rolling my thumbs and doing nothing. It turns out I met tons of beautiful people, tons of kind folk, fans, and had all these great conversations about art and the projects that, light us up. So it was better than I could have ever expected.
So you have fans,
Apparently.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Not something I knew.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought? What the hell's there to be a fan about?
So in case the viewers are wondering what this amazing gentleman is from, is
Okay, so most people, at least in this convention, know me from The Last of Us,
The Last of Us.
which is a HBO TV show that was based on a video game with the same name. It's about an apocalypse. We talked about this a little bit yesterday,
Yep.
where it's not zombies necessarily. Instead
Right.
of zombies, it's this fungi, this mushroom that infects the human psyche and turns you into a madman.
a
And
giant fungus.
yeah,
If I ate fungus, I'd be a
Fungus
madman
is
too.
among us. Well, we're in trouble now. So
yeah, it's not that type of fungus, but it kind of is a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got okay. Not that kind of fungus.
Yeah.
Okay. But it has a similar effect, apparently.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
If you take enough of both, there wouldn't be much difference. I don't think.
little.
Yeah.
Right,
So
okay.
and the
so,
train has been derailed
yes,
immediately.
absolutely.
Immediately.
So I want to know, how did you get into that? How did you get on?
I want to know how I got into that. That makes no sense to me, honestly.
Well, just like find you walking down the Walmart
Yeah.
aisle or something.
just in Walmart, shrieking, making weird sounds. It was honestly a pretty traditional process. I got an audition, and it was a nationwide audition, the type of auditions you never get.
Right.
Do amongst everyone else in the country. So it's like, okay, whatever. But I was a fan of the game. And it said you had to be a certain weight and a certain height, and I fit those things. So I was like, okay, I got a chance for this. And what they asked were a tape of me gyrating, doing the movements of these creatures, because these creatures have a particular type of movement.
Okay.
So just to give you a little briefing, I play the clickers, which is a type of mushroom zombie that's been a mushroom zombie for a little too long.
Okay.
And now it's fully blind, and it just shrieks to kind of eco-locate its prey.
Okay.
And so they asked me to do a lot of gyrating in that.
I like that word,
that
gyrating.
fashion. Yeah, I like
well,
it too. I've
well,
been trying to use
you-
it as much as possible.
You were actually born and raised in Canada,
In
correct?
Canada, yeah.
So you know how to
Montreal.
gyrate.
So yeah, are we gyrators? in
Yeah,
Canada?
I guess. I mean, there's not much up there but trees and booze, right?
So what else you gonna do?
Gyrate around the tree.
That's pretty much what it was. Yeah, and I had a blast just doing that audition. So much so that I was like, I don't even care if I get it or not. This was a great experience. I remember, I took a little bit of herbal medication, I'll say, and
Okay.
I covered my eyes with a bandana because they're blind. I
Mhm.
just filmed myself for 30 minutes doing, quite embarrassing stuff if I were to show anybody else the people
Well, you
trying
know,
to hire me.
the next thing out of my mouth is going to be, well, can you show us a little gyration?
Yeah, if you're good, I just might.
You know, all right.
But and then I made that video and I sent the last 3 minutes, and then they were happy with that.
Just
And
the
I
first
got
27 minutes where you actually
just-
bumping into walls,
yeah, it
and
was just
tripping over
trash.
chairs.
Yeah.
Ah, crap! I forgot to move that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it for
Yeah.
30 to get 10%. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
There you
isn't that how filming goes though? You film like 87 hours of stuff for a minute and a half of film.
It's that
Yeah.
sounds like the story of most shoots,
Right.
honestly.
At least that's how it was with us. Take 712.
Is it because you guys kept forgetting your lines?
No, just
kept
because-
fucking
We
around?
didn't have lines. We made everything up.
Yeah,
as
it
we
was
went.
all. Yeah,
Oh,
literally
really?
everything was off the cuff. So
Oh, that's awesome.
after like the 27th take, it was all right. Do me a favor, guys. Start with one line, end with one line. I don't care what you put in the middle.
Yeah, because
So-
you gotta help them out a little bit.
Yeah, because when it went to editing, the editor
Nightmare.
he had amazingly long flowing hair, buff gentleman, and he came out and he was bald,
Bald,
gray,
skinny.
and he was like, "What the hell did you give me?" But
Oh,
no,
man.
like I think I said this earlier to AJ Stone. The best thing you can hear when you're filming is, "Okay, let's do a safety," which is we got it.
That's the last
Yeah,
one.
it's like we're gonna do a safety just to be safe.
Yeah.
And that's usually when I get hurt.
So have you had a chance to meet any of what I would say not your idols, but people that you've looked up to in the industry here?
You know what? I did. Well, I wouldn't say so much of an idol because I wasn't so familiar with his work, but he's quite a popular figure these days. And I'm talking about Pedro Pascal, who's the lead of the TV show. And I inspired myself a lot from him because I found that his energy for being the leading man was so perfect. He showed up on set, knew everybody by first name, was friendly with everyone, made jokes, but didn't take too much space. He let the whole, because it's a huge operation, right? There's tons of things happening, explosions and whatever. So you can't be trying to steal the show and make it all about yourself. So he knew how to play the game of giving people what they wanted, but also just making everything flow easily. And that was that was a huge learning experience just to watch a professional at work like that. And it paid off for me because just a few months later, I got my first gig in a film as a lead. I'd never been a lead in a film, and I felt like I channeled that a little bit. I was like, okay, as a lead, it's my responsibility to kind of dictate the energy of this film set and try and make it pleasant for everybody as much as I can, because that really changes if people are having fun, it's automatically
Well, it
gonna be
changes
more
the dynamic of everything.
Yeah.
I
Less
mean,
you
stress,
guys
the
know.
better.
I mean, I think all you guys are about that.
Well,
The
right,
Having
less
fun.
stress, the better. You just
yeah.
gotta,
I mean, I can say we, for instance, when we were filming the first episode of what we were doing,
Yeah.
it was about 8 o'clock at night in a cannabis field. It was pouring, like torrential downpours. So we had to hide and wait for the rain to stop. It would stop. We would run out and film. But we made it fun, and it kept everybody on the cast and crew really loose, and it was joking. I mean, to the point where actually one of our co-stars went over and she grabbed her water. She did like the Mio drinks.
Oh yeah.
So she grabbed her Mio drink, took a swig of it, spit it everywhere because it was actually the blood. That's what you get for putting in a drink like that.
Yeah, that's what you get.
But having fun like that on the set, it does. You're right. It keeps it very loose,
Yeah.
and I think you get better scenes.
I do, and I think there's something to be said about what you just brought up about having really difficult circumstances. I think we all bond more when we're going through troubling times.
Well,
And
right.
So if it was pouring rain and you guys have to take it down, put it back up, shoot the scene real fast.
Yeah.
It gets everyone in the zone. It gets everyone into action mode, and we create bonds like that.
Right. So you mentioned that you were a lead in a film.
Yeah.
Has that been released? Is it something you can talk
I
about?
can definitely talk about it.
Okay.
It hasn't been released yet. It's in post-production as we speak, and I felt really privileged to partake in this because it's a story that's based on a book that I absolutely love. A Canadian author, a Canadian Lebanese author by the name of Rawi Haj, and he wrote this book called Carnival, which is about a homeless errant man who grew up in a circus with no parents, has no real attachment to life,
Mhm.
and he meets people that kind of show him the ways of, you know, being a productive member of society. He meets these like militant people, and he becomes a taxi driver, and the whole book is about the existential conversations he has with the people in his cab, as well as this kind of this journey he has with his friends that ultimately leads to some pretty sad shit. Won't be spoiling any of it,
Okay.
but
okay.
the book was such a fun read. And then what they did with the film is that they structured it way more. It became much more of like a narrative rather than like an episodic. Now we meet this guy in the cab. Now we meet this guy in the cab. So I felt the director of the film, Akram Adwani, who also wrote it, found a really good middle in turning a book into a film, because that's a tough ask.
What's it classed as? Is it like a psychodrama? Or is it like a
I would say, yeah, psychodrama sounds pretty apropos. Yeah,
it sounds like that's what it would be.
yeah, thriller, because there's murders too when we're trying to figure out who killed who.
Drama
So yeah, a bit of a thriller drama.
Sorry, Hallmark, you can't have that one.
Sorry. But you guys had an experience with that too, because you guys are also working on a book that you're transforming into.
Right. I mean, the difference between what we do and what a lot of others do is we did it.
Right.
We wrote the book. We were there when it was turned into TV series. We're there behind the scene as it's being turned into animation series. So,
well, the fun thing is, like, you know, and I don't think a lot of actors, professional actors get to do this, but I mean, we were involved with building the sets and helping setting the lighting.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and so the whole experience as a whole is something that has been absolutely fantastic.
Doing the stunts.
You know what I mean?
Literally throwing we are one of the only people that can say this too. We threw our attorney in the Hudson River in November.
What did your attorney do to deserve that?
Willingly.
She paid.
She paid to do that.
She paid to do
She paid to be in the filming, and we were like, oh, okay, so you're going to play this zombie, and he's going to knock you into the Hudson River.
She said, okay.
She paid you guys to be in your movie?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
But she sponsored it.
You guys seem to know what's up.
I guess.
You guys seem to know how to.
But this isn't about us. Everybody. No. I mean, a lot of people.
You're right. It's typical me. I started asking questions.
No, it's great, and I love that
right.
because that keeps the good flow going. But this is really all about you.
Right.
So prior to your HBO special and the filming, what was Olivier?
Who was Olivier?
What were you doing? Were you like
Olivier followed
breakfast or?
No. I did have a boring job for a while. I sold popcorn in a independent movie theater. I mean, boring. It was fun. I had friends there, and I got to watch all these great films. But at one point, you're like, I think I need to do something else with my life. Serve popcorn.
Right.
This was during the pandemic, and I decided to have like a full change of heart, and I threw myself into intervention work, and I started working as a suicide prevention interventionist. I don't really know what the good terminology is, but I talk to sad people on the phone and try to get them to, trying to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah. Right. It's worth it. Everything's worth it.
Yeah. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, you're thinking about it way too much.
Yeah, you guys should be doing that.
What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I'm quite an active person. I like to go outside, and I like to go for walks. I like to chat. I'm a socialite. I'd say my main activities, though, I'm big into judo and jujitsu. So those are martial arts. I love doing that.
Right.
I'm not the best competitor. I'm too nice.
Well,
too nice.
yeah.
I don't like kicking ass that much.
I can't hurt you.
Yeah.
I don't know. You are a tall guy with some long reach there. So
tall guy, long reach, but my heart is my heart is my weakness. I don't want to hurt nobody.
No,
I love training. I love training, and I love helping my friends compete and all that. And I'll still compete maybe once a year just to confront something I hate. I think that's important in life. You got to do shit that you really don't want to do sometimes, just so you know that you can do it.
Right. So
I didn't like this last year. Am I going to like it this year? Yeah, no.
So you said you worked at an independent theater.
Yes. The Cinema du Parc in Montreal, Canada.
Montreal. Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah. So that's where I was going with that. So do you think when this new film comes out, maybe they would do like a red carpet event for you there.
Woo! Hey,
I'm just
listen up.
I'm just saying,
It could be a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely a time kind of film.
Right.
Local boy comes home.
Yeah.
And then you can reach out to us, and they can sponsor us. We'll fly up and stream it live.
Yeah. Okay.
You see how we
I
play
like
it?
the way you guys.
I like marketing, baby. It's marketing. But no, in all seriousness, is that something like you could see happening?
I could see it happening, but it's tough to tell with these independent features. I know you guys know all about that.
Oh yeah.
But there's no distributor yet. So the goal is that you make the movie and then you try and sell it at film festivals, right?
Right.
And the director, he's got ambitions, and he'd like it to go to Cannes and TIFF and all the big film festivals.
Right.
And I wish it for him. I wish it goes all the way there. And if it does, eventually it will trickle down to that little independent cinema back in my hometown.
You'd be surprised, because those little independent theaters, if you approach them and say, "Hey man, I'm in this thing. I worked here. Let's do a launch party. Let's
there's a whole other that's a whole other path that I think is very cool.
But you can actually turn that little theater into a film festival.
And
there's others,
a little event.
And I would see I would see a lot of that actually when I would work there, because people would organize their own events and everything.
Right.
And I think that's definitely an idea that's up there and that people are aware of. I think the director would like to go a more traditional route if he
try to go to the big ones first.
Exactly.
See, you
can't blame him.
No,
right?
no, you
shoot
can't.
For
You
the stars.
absolutely,
Shoot for the
always
stars.
shoot for the stars.
But that's definitely a possibility, and you guys hit the nail on the head. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, it helps get the thing out there. And I do want to say that over the last few years, some of the best films that I've seen come out have been independent films.
I would agree with you.
In the small independent area.
Yeah. Yep.
Because like what we were doing, we went to the smaller festivals. And as we hit the smaller festivals, those bigger festivals were like, "Hey,
oh, that's great."
They pay attention to that.
Yeah, enter here. And I'm like, "Well, I'm not paying you to enter. You want to put it up? Put it up. If we win, then we'll talk about us paying you."
Guys, that's very rare. That doesn't happen often, because oftentimes film festivals, if they see you got into a smaller one, they're like, "We don't want anything to do with it."
Right.
But that means that you guys really knew what you were doing.
Well, it's like anything, I don't
Create
care
a
what
buzz.
you're doing.
Create a buzz.
I
You
don't
guys
care
did
what
it.
you do. Create a buzz.
Well, no, I'm talking about you as well. With this new film.
Yes.
Create a buzz yourself.
Yeah, nobody's going to do it for you.
Nobody's going to do it for me.
And
That's
distribution is one of the hardest things that we have found on the independent side of things. There are a ton of outlets out there. We can talk about that off the air. That will help do those types of things. But we found that distribution is really tough.
You sometimes got to put your grown man pants on and do things yourself.
Well, yeah,
definitely. I get that.
I used to own some of those.
Why are we talking about us again?
Well, because you guys are fun, and I have the bad habit of just turning the conversation.
Yeah, you did that last night.
He's doing it again.
Yeah, he's did.
Yeah,
get out of my mind.
So,
my mind.
do you collect anything? Is there anything that you collect?
Oh man, I have trepidation asking that question, because I know we're in a con and everyone loves signatures and collecting things, but I've never been much of a collector except for DVDs. I used to collect a whole lot of DVDs, but I never got them signed or anything. It was just my own personal collection, having my own little library. I liked, having people over, and it's like, oh, let's turn on Netflix. I'm like, actually, how about no?
Right.
How about my own little
this cool
private
movie.
Netflix you got here? A bunch of shit you've never seen before. But I don't do it so much anymore, just because it takes too much place. I think I'm in a period of my life where I need a little less clutter. I'm getting a little overwhelmed with clutter, and it's making me lose track of things. It's making me lose track of my goals.
Yeah, up like me, I have an entire room in my house that's dedicated to my collection.
Well, you know what? That's good. You've put the clutter in one space. You've decided I'll clutter this space.
No, his wife put that clutter in one space.
Yes. No, that has to stay in there.
It cannot migrate.
Oh man, I'm sure I'd love to see that room. I'm sure that room's full of interesting things.
It is. There's I've had people in there that will never go back in.
That's a way to sell it.
There's too many eyes.
There's too many eyes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We'll
I'll
keep it to that.
I'll just leave that like
it's ominous.
Yeah.
Just watch our live show. He does it from that room.
Do it from that room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'll get to see it.
So, yeah, I mean, we have a few more minutes with this amazing gentleman. Do we have any questions in the crowd?
Questions in
I see the wheels spinning in your head. She's like, I know I want to ask
Not
him
everyone
something.
at the same time, please.
I know I want to ask him something, but I don't know what.
Come on up here.
Come here.
Come on up.
Come on
Hey,
up.
come on up.
Come on up here. This is something that we do that not any other con does.
Yeah, all the way.
Well,
up.
now they'll start doing it because they saw it live, and that's what happens with us.
I'd like to
Come on
just say I'm loving this.
Have a seat.
What is this? What is this costume you're wearing? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's the new Black Mirror.
Okay.
The first episode with Annie Murphy. She I won't give it away.
Please don't, because
But,
I haven't touched the new season yet.
It's a lot of fun, and that's the Salma Hayek character. It's a long story.
Okay.
But it's
Well,
like
the episode's going to be that much better now that I've seen you guys. Sorry for interrupting. What was your question?
it's a whole commentary on AI and actors.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my question was though, I'm a big Trekkie, so I'm curious about like how much prosthetic and makeup went into what you had to do versus like CGI and.
Well, that's a great question. There was absolutely no CGI. They did everything in practical. Not just the makeup, but also the sets. It was an absolutely amazing experience to be part of this, just to witness the scope of it all, because you really feel like a tiny ant in an ant colony. There was a scene that happens like a cul-de-sac in like some middle of nowhere little town, and they built that town from the ground up, like every house, every car, like they put it there, they made it all abandoned, and then they blew it all up, just for the scene.
That's
It was
fun.
it was crazy. But to answer your question, the makeup took about 8 hours. 8 hours to put the whole thing on, because it's a couple prosthetics. It's not just a mask. So there's like a neck piece, and then there's a scalp piece, and then there's the infamous crown of the mushroom. Then there's the teeth. Then they got to paint over it, and later on it got a little quicker. They could do it in maybe 5. So and these guys are pros, right? They weren't just slack and just having cigarette breaks every 10 minutes and letting me rot in my chair. They were going fast, but it just takes a lot of time and dedication to get the costume so perfect. And it's interesting because I'm not there for very long, but yet the amount of detail and amount of work they put in, the amount of steadfastness they had, it was really, really impressive just to be around such people.
8 hours in the chair, one line. You're done.
Yeah, exactly. So 8 hours, and the crazy thing is that one of those hours, I'm fully blind and I'm fully deaf, and I also can't breathe through my nose. So I'm just in this weird, sensory deprivation bubble. I'm just breathing through my mouth, trying not to have a panic attack, right? But it's kind of like a spiritual awakening where, I feel like I'm transcending into a new dimension because I'm so dissociated from everything. And then they make the slits, and I see myself in the mirror, and I'm like, what the hell am I? And from that point on, I could never drop character. I was just so in it, and you're still kind of you can't really hear well, and you can't really see well, so you feel still very disconnected from the world. So there was, very few dialogue options to be had with people. I didn't see myself just hanging out eating hot dogs in this costume, So I was just roaming around the set, freaking people out, and yeah, I hope that answers your question. 8 hours, about an hour I couldn't see. Yeah, that was and then maybe 2.5 to take it all off. Yeah, it's a big day. Thank you so much for your question.
So that's pretty wild.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild. Hopefully you don't forget that you can't breathe through your nose, because I'm one of those people that I like to sit through my nose.
You got to breathe through your nose.
They'd be like, "Oh crap, grab the paddles, he dropped again."
Well, I remember I can't remember who was sitting in the chair getting makeup on. We made the big mistake. We ordered pizza for everybody. Except this poor dude had his lips sewed shut. So no pizza for you.
He couldn't eat. That's right. I forgot about that. We had his prosthetics for his lips. Yeah. We were like, "Oh, dude, sorry, you can
just
eat
trying
after."
to torture this man.
Yeah, but actually, he was one of the best zombies that we had in the filming.
Well, he was probably mad.
Oh, he was pissed.
He
Yeah,
probably
he was
channeled that anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
pizza everywhere. He couldn't touch it.
So
horrible.
we have like 1 minute left with you.
1 minute left.
Well, actually, we ran over our time already.
That's all right.
Okay.
But I always want to ask my odd question.
Please.
Are you a cat guy or a dog guy?
It's from
my
Canada.
cat
It's
guy
ferrets.
or a dog guy. I'm definitely a cat guy. I'm more of a low maintenance person. I don't necessarily want to go. I like going for walks, but I like going for walks alone. I don't want to be dragging this other creature. Not that I don't love dogs. Dogs are great. Dogs are great, but it's kind of like kids. I ain't ready to have them yet. I love hanging out with my nephew.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with everybody else's kid. I love being the cool uncle.
Okay.
I love being the dog friend. But I don't want to be the dog owner just yet. Maybe there'll be a day, where
Okay.
I'll pass to the other side and be more of a dog guy. But today's not the day.
Very good.
Okay.
All right.
What about you guys? Are you cat or dog people?
I'm both.
Both?
Yeah, both. I have a dog. I have a couple of cats.
Couple of cats.
Couple of cats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they fight
All the time.
all the time? But that's kind of like a sign of affection sometimes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one's 14 and one's 9 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the 14-year-old's not too happy right now.
It's like, come on, man. Let me time in peace here. I can have the little moments to myself.
Right. I got 2 cats.
2 cats.
Yeah, they're brother and sister. They were rescues.
Ah,
So
beautiful.
when we went to get the cat, they were like, "Well, they're brother and sister. We don't want to separate them." I said, "Fine, give them both to me."
Yeah.
My dog's it's like a Cujo dog.
Yeah, Teddy.
Teddy.
Yeah. He's half golden retriever, and
Ah,
half
cute.
Belgian shepherd.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
adorable.
So
He kind of looks like Cujo.
yeah, he does.
Well, actually, you know what? I think if I had to answer that question again, I would say neither. You know what I'm really into right now these days as pets?
Ferrets.
Snakes. Snakes.
Okay.
I never thought I'd say that. I never
Okay.
thought I'd want a snake.
Okay.
But I
Well,
recently went to visit my ex-fiance, and she bought like 9 snakes. She's got snakes all over her house.
that's
and
so
I-
you can't break in.
Yeah. And I held one for the first time in my life, and I don't think there's a more therapeutic thing than holding a snake. It's like,
Works for me.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna touch that one. I'm not touching that one at all. Not even. No, it's a kid's show.
It's a kid's show.
It's a kid's
Just
show.
keep
Kids
your eye
show.
open when we have them on our live broadcast.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to taunt you guys, really, with
Well, you
these
can try if you
statements.
want, but I will tell you this: if you're collecting snakes, I ain't never coming to your house.
Okay. Well, I don't have snakes yet, and I
Okay,
don't
good.
necessarily plan on having snakes. I
All
just
right,
think
cool.
they're cool.
Oh, all right, yeah, because
They are cool, but little snakes are one thing. See, a friend of mine had 2 14-foot pythons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now that's a little different when you're sitting there waiting for this thing to come out. It comes up between your legs like this and looks at you because it can eat you.
It could. Yeah.
Yeah. You show me that, I'll show you a chick screaming real fast. Not even kidding. So that's about all the time we have with this amazing gentleman.
That was great.
Any questions out there? No? All right. Well, I'm going to ask our amazing producer back here hiding behind the camera. Leo always asks this question on the live show.
What's up, Leo?
Is there something that Olivier dorks out about? So
I thought Leo was supposed to ask that.
well, he doesn't have a microphone.
You're
and
just speaking
you see
for
how
him.
he smiled?
Yeah.
He's speaking through you.
Yes,
Like a
yes. For instance, he interviewed Bruce Valanche, and Bruce geeked out about the history of sunken vessels. Is there something specific that nobody knows about, or even maybe they do, that you kind of dork out about?
I'm a huge fan of Jackie Chan's films in the late 80s, early 90s in Hong Kong, his Hong Kong cinema, and the absolutely wild stunts he was able to pull off that no one in the rest of humanity has ever been able to come close to.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's
There you
pretty
go.
much what I geek out on.
Nice. So with
Okay.
that being said, if you haven't already, make sure you head over to Olivier's. Now, you see, I even pronounced your
You're
name
killing
wrong.
it. You're
know,
doing great.
Head over to Oliver's Table. Check him out. Talk to him. Follow him on social media. I'm sure you got tons of social media.
Social media,
give yourself a
can
shameless
never
plug real
have
quick.
too much social media plugging. On my Instagram, it's just my name, no space, all together. Olivier Ross Parent. You'll find me.
What was it?
Parent.
Parent. Yeah, that's how you say it.
It's
That's
P-A-
Parent. So
Yeah,
it's just
parent.
really, for all of you.
In case you were wondering, he's French.
Yeah,
He's French.
she's French.
Thank you for the fries. So we're gonna let him go back.
Yeah.
Go get a signature. Go get a picture with him. Go talk to him. He's a great guy.
Thanks, guys.
You're gonna see him on the scene, folks.
You guys were great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.